everybody, my name is Kelly and welcome to my home. So today's video is another DIY home decor project. So let's get started. So here are the materials that I used to make this DIY project, and they were purchased from the dollar store. I purchased 6 frames in various sizes. I already had the spray paint on hand and I'm only going to use silver because 2 of the frames were gold, some E6000 and hot glue, some command strips, the Velcro kind, or I might just nail them, use a nail on the wall to hang the picture up. So right now I'm just going to take out my phone and find my inspiration photo so that I can try and mimic the best I can, and then I'm just going to lay it out on the ground to see if I can get the right shape from the inspiration picture. So once I removed all the packaging from the frames, then it was time to just take out the little things on the back of the frame that hold all the glass and everything together. And they're actually really easy to pull out with some pliers. Now once all the packaging was off and the little black things were pulled out, I decided to lay it out again on the ground just so I could get kind of an idea of the shape and size. And I have to say this was really exciting because even though it wasn't painted in the right colors yet, it all of a sudden, without all that packaging on, I thought, oh my gosh, this might actually work. So I was really excited here to see the shape come together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 2 white frames and the 2 hot pink frames, and I'm going to take them outside and give them a coat of the silver spray paint. Now the 2 pink frames were in the size 4x6, and the 2 white frames that I'm painting here were 8x10s. So the 2 gold frames that are inside the house already were 5x7s. Now that the frames were all dry, the paint was all dry, I brought them all back into the house, and now it's time to get serious and start to put this together. So once again, I'm just going to lay it out and try to get an idea of the shape and where things should go. And then you will see pretty soon I'll get out a tape measure and start measuring and marking on the frames where things should actually be placed.
Letting it go, spend my coin for sure. I'm gonna be myself, or I could be someone else. No one's stopping me now. I'm gonna skip my breaks, I'm gonna make mistakes. I just wanna feel alive. It's just what I do when I'm out, so try not to hold.
So I decided to start by gluing the 2 outside pieces, the long 4x6s, onto the gold pieces. So now I'm just going to measure and make sure that I have the same distance on the bottom and on the top, and then I'm just going to mark everything with a pencil so that that's where I know where I need the glue to go and where I'm going to place these frames. In hindsight, I wish I had started a different way. I wish I had started putting the gold frames on the 2 underneath pieces, the 8x10 pieces. I think it would have been a little easier to do, but hindsight's 20/20, and this is the way I started it. And yeah, I wish I had started a different way, but I managed to make it work in the end.
I'm gonna be myself, or I could be someone else. No one's stopping me now. I'm gonna skip my breaks, I'm gonna make mistakes. I feel alive. It's just what I do when I'm out, so try not to hold me down.
So now I'm just going to start hot gluing everything together, and this is kind of silly. Why I moved the frames closer together, why I didn't just move everything closer to where my hot glue gun was, I will never know. But the cord on the hot glue wasn't reaching some of the marks, so I just kept moving the frames, and it got a little hairy at times, and it got a little I got a little out of sorts, but I think in the end I managed to get it together. But I did use E6000 as well, because these 4x6 frames were so thin. The backing was so thin, there was like a little tiny lip to glue everything together, and it just wasn't setting up properly. So I did end up using the E6000 as well.
I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna skip my breaks. I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna be myself. I'm gonna be someone else. I'm gonna be myself. I'm gonna be someone else. I'm gonna skip my breaks. I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna skip my breaks. I'm gonna make mistakes. Try not to hold me down.
So this is where you can see that I was having a little bit of trouble keeping the frame on top with the hot glue because it was so narrow. So I let it set up for a little bit, and then I decided to place a couple of extra frames that I had on hand on top to kind of give a little bit of pressure to where the glue was. So I ended up putting a couple frames on top just until it set up. And I forgot to show the part where I glued it all together with the two 8x10s, but it was the same thing. I just put hot glue on, measured it, and put something on top to hold everything down, and I let it set up overnight just to be on the safe side.
I don't want to be trapped in a box, trying to be like the rest when I'm not. I just want.
And here it is all together. This is the back side of it, and I was pretty happy with it, but I realized that these command strips were just too thick. They're black and they're too thick because the frames are so thin. So I noticed that the way I'd placed the 8x10s, they had hooks on them, picture hooks on them. So I'm just going to use some nails in the wall to hold it on. So now I'm just going to mark on the wall where the picture hooks are on the back of each frame, and then I'm just simply going to nail in a little picture nail into the wall and hang it from that. And that was it. As you can see, I only made one. Even though the inspiration picture had two, I only made one piece, and that was exactly the right thing to do for this wall. If I'd had a bigger wall that I wanted this on, I probably would have made the two of them, but I only needed one in this space, and I think it turned out perfect for this area.
Yeah, I'm on my way now. 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 I don't want to be trapped in a box. I just wanna go my own way. 'Cause I am on my way. 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 I am on my way.
hope this video inspired you to think outside the box, and if you see something that you really love for your home, but it's a little out of the price range or your budget, which this certainly was for me, to try and think of a way to recreate something similar for yourself. Now, this is in no ways or means an exact replica of my inspiration photo, but it serves the purpose. It fills that wall so perfectly, and I'm actually really happy with it. So I want to thank you for stopping by. If you are new here, I hope that you will consider subscribing by hitting the little red button below, and don't forget to turn on the little gray bell, the notification bell, which will notify you every time I upload a video. And if you are so inclined, I would love it if you would give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Be sure to follow me over on Instagram, and if you recreate something from a photo, be sure to tag me because I would love to see what you guys are creating. So until next time, guys, I hope you have a fabulous week. Cheers!
I've been waiting for this, yeah. It's been up on my